There were 6 blind men who grew up in a village in India, and the community kept them safe and shared with them many stories. The men were curious about many of the stories they heard, but they were most curious about elephants. Based on the stories that each of them had heard, they argued about what elephants must be like. The community grew tired of these arguments and arranged for the men to visit the palace, where they were greeted by an old friend from their village who worked as a gardener on the palace grounds. Their friend led them to the courtyard. There stood an elephant. The blind men stepped forward to touch the creature that was the subject of so many arguments. The first blind man reached out and touched the side of the huge animal. "An elephant is smooth and solid like a wall," he declared. "It must be very powerful." The second blind man put his hand on the elephant's limber trunk. "An elephant is like a giant snake," he announced. The third blind man felt the elephant's pointed tusk. "I was right," he decided. "This creature is as sharp and deadly as a spear." The fourth blind man touched one of the elephant's 4 legs. "What we have here," he said, "is an extremely large cow." The fifth blind man felt the elephant's giant ear. "I believe an elephant is like a huge fan, or maybe a magic carpet that can fly over mountains and treetops," he said. The sixth blind man gave a tug on the elephant's coarse tail. "Why, this is nothing more than a piece of old rope. Dangerous indeed," he scoffed. The gardener led his friends to the shade of a tree. "Sit here and rest for the long journey home," he said. "I will bring you some water to drink." While they waited, the 6 blind men talked about the elephant. "An elephant is like a wall," said the first blind man. "Surely we can finally agree on that." "A wall? An elephant is a giant snake," answered the second blind man. "It's a spear, I tell you," insisted the third blind man. "I'm certain it's a giant cow," said the fourth blind man. "Magic carpet, there's no doubt," said the fifth blind man. "Don't you see?" pleaded the sixth blind man. "Someone used a rope to trick us." Their argument continued, and their shouts grew louder and louder. "Wall! Snake! Spear! Cow! Carpet! Rope! Stop shouting!" called a very angry voice. It was the Rajah, awakened from his nap by the noisy argument. "How can each of you be so certain you are right?" asked the ruler. The 6 blind men considered the question, and then, knowing the Rajah to be a very wise man, they decided to say nothing at all. "The elephant is a very large animal," said the Rajah kindly. "Each man touched only one part. Perhaps if you put the parts together, you will see the truth. Now, let me finish my nap in peace."